Howdy everyone, welcome back. It's me with your daily dose of the gray pages here. And today we're going to go over the naturalistic cluster. Just very briefly, we've got scientific naturalism. Well, in short, this specific worldview likes to say that you shouldn't believe anything that can't be empirically proven by science, which, as William Lane Craig likes to point out, is self-contradictory, because how can you prove that statement alone? You can't prove that everything should be, provable by science alone. Well, the purpose, says that history is a linear movement linked by cause and effect. There is no reality beyond the physical. So basically saying that what you see is what you get, and that's all there is, ain't no more. Okay. Well, so the problem is, which even saying that there's a problem in this case, I find hilarious, because if you're saying that everything is natural and there's really no purpose to anything, and that everything is just exactly the way it is because it is, and there's no more than that, then there really is no problem, because there's really no purpose. If there's no problem and no purpose, then there's also no solution, in my opinion. However, the solution listed here would say that empirical investigation, scientific implementation can eliminate many human problems. Again, what's the problem? If this is all there is, then there is no moral. So this is also what you see when people like Neil deGrasse Tyson. Hey, I respect the guy, but I can't get behind the idea that science should rule everything, because even science is opinion. Well, let's move ahead to psychodynamism. Okay, so the psychodynamic theory, a lot of it stems from Freud. Although most, I'd say pretty much all modern psychologists refute Freud. Well, they wouldn't refute Floyd, because Pink Floyd is the bomb. I really like that. But anyways, so even though Sigmund Freud's theories are not widely adhered to anymore, in fact, probably adhered to at all, it still was the basis of modern psychodynamic theory. Psychodynamic theory basically says it's all in your head, okay? And we can, study psychology, and we can study what's going on with the id, the ego, and the superego, and we can see how all of this plays into exactly what we do, how we act, how we think, what manifests itself in our mind. Of course, completely cutting out God. This is something that might give rise to other theories, other ideas, such as Sam Harris's perspective that there is no such thing as free will, is that we're basically all hardwired to act a certain way in certain situations. All we are doing is reacting to the stimulus around us. And since it's our chemical makeup in our brain and the way that we're wired, that we really don't have free will. We're just kind of acting autonomously, but not really willing anything ourselves. We're just robots, basically. The purpose, though this view assumes the scientific worldview of naturalism, it also has roots in Romanticism, which stressed the purpose of individual freedom and discovering our inner self and passion. Now, this is where a lot of libertarian type thought can enter into the equation as well, because libertarians would say, look, as long as you're not hurting anybody, you should be able to do whatever you want. This is something that a lot of us conservatives would glom onto as well. I consider myself leaning more libertarian, because I do typically feel like if you're not hurting anybody, if you're not hurting me, then what business of it, what business of mine is it what you're doing? This runs into contradictions, obviously, because we are incapable of seeing the full scope of the effects of anything that anyone is doing. So we can't really just say that you're not hurting me simply because it's not a direct effect right now upon me. You might be hurting me later, I just don't know it yet. Well, this can also lean into libertinism, because this has a tendency to cut out any kind of absolute morals, any kind of absolute rights or wrongs. This is a problem, obviously. Okay, so the problem in terms of psychodynamism is that human beings are made up of basic primal desires, pleasures, pains. Okay, we gravitate towards pleasure and we try to get away from pain. We conflate these with right and wrong wrongly because it hurts or it doesn't hurt. It hurts or it feels good, but we can also point to many things that feel good that will destroy us, so this is a bad thing. The solution: becoming conscious of our true desires and fulfilling them as much as possible, short of infringing on the freedom of others to do the same. Well, there we go. I think we can see the problems here. Mull it over. Think about it. I'll see you Sunday.